A very good morning, students. Today, let us start with the last unit, that is Unit 5, and it has been titled Living in a Globalized World. Okay, I repeat, Living in a Globalized World. This is the title of Unit 5. And the first essay that is there in this unit is titled Toys. Very interesting essay written by Roland Barthes. Roland Barthes is a great philosopher. He is a theorist. Basically, he is known for his theories in literature that he has come up with. Let me say, not theories of literature, but theories of criticism for that matter. When you will be doing your masters in literature, English literature, you will be studying various essays written by Roland Barthes, in which he has given theories related to structuralism, semiology, existentialism, Marxism, and post-structuralism. So this is all at this point you should know about Roland Barthes, that he's he's one of the most important French theorists. फ्रेंच थेरिस्ट्स को हम लिटरेरी क्रिटिक्स भी बोलते हैं. ठीक है, जब मैंने आपको यॉनर्स पढ़ाए थे इन द बिगनिंग, आई टोल्ड यू दैट द लास्ट यॉनर इज क्रिटिसिज्म. सो ही इज वन great man who belongs or who writes that particular genre, which is known as criticism, right? Now, toys, the very interesting topic of the essay. What could have he written about toys? What he is trying to tell us through this essay? Something which I as a mother can correlate very well, because somehow I feel that whatever points he mentions or whatever logics he's giving us, that what toys are doing, are toys really benefiting the small children? The material which these toys are made of, are they really good for the children? What are the category of toys which are good for children, which let me say helps or gives the child a chance to show his imagination, his creativity, and one more thing he talks about over here, the discovery, imagination, discovery, and creation. What are such toys which can do such things, right? And another thing that he touches upon here is, or he talks about or mentions in the essay, is that what kind or what material toys are the best for the children. And he has a very good piece of advice for parents, that what kind of toys be allowed to be used by the small children. Okay, so let us read the text. French toys, he's particularly talking about his nation, toys that are available in his country. French toys, one could not find a better illustration of the fact that the adult Frenchman sees the child as another self. Now, these French toys, he says what they are. They are like these small children. They are being told, or they are being shown to be elders, a French adult, he says. All the toys one commonly sees are essentially a microcosm, a representative of which world? The adult world, right? हम अपनी ही कल्चर की अगर बात करें, we generally give the girls toys, dolls, I mean to say, or we will give her a kitchen set or something, right? Which what are we doing? हम क्या कर रहे हैं ऐसा करके? We are killing their imagination, and we are killing their thinking that a girl is not just supposed to play toys. She can with dolls, she can play with aeroplanes, she can play with cars, right? And here, even he's in the French context also, Barthes talks about that if you are giving the child a small doll who is crying, or who is even you can use nappies with it, it is urinating, all these things. So what does the child do? There is a close kind of mindset which he or she, they will adapt it, and they will not come out with something creative, something which is going on in their imagination. That is what happens when we are just giving miniatures of toys to the children. Miniature not of toys, but miniatures of adult world. Miniature, small pieces, small, not pieces, but a small representative of something, maybe a doll, maybe mother, or maybe a soldier or something like that. That is what is a miniature. All the toys one commonly sees are essentially a microcosm of the adult world. They are all reduced copies of human objects. As if in the eyes of the public, the child was, all told, nothing but a small man. The child is nothing but he is a small man. A homunculus. What is homunculus? A very, very small human, to whom must be supplied objects of his own size. So, if you are giving the child a car, the car will be a small piece of toy which you are giving to him, or any other object of human adult world which you are giving to the child, that will somehow stop his imagination. It will bring an end to his creativity. So he says that what are we doing? We are making the child in advance learn learn everything about the adult world. And what happens because of this? Because of this, the child's ability to imagine, the ability to create somehow ends. Second paragraph. Invented forms are very rare. A few sets of blocks which appeal to the spirit of do-it-yourself. Now, building blocks are one category of toys which Roland Barthes is appreciating. Now, when the child is using those building blocks, he is kind of independently trying to do something. He will either make a house out of it, or he will make one or the other images out of it, when a building block is given to the child. So Roland Barthes is approving such kind of a toy, and he says because building blocks, they not only encourage a child to create something, to make something, but it also gives their imagination a way that they are thinking of something with the blocks provided to them, and they are coming out with something good out of it, which is their creativity and which is not a replica of something that belongs to the adult world. Okay, that is the point Barthes is trying to make clear over here. As for, let's read again the paragraph. Invented forms are very rare. A few sets of blocks which appeal to the spirit of do-it-yourself are the only ones which offer dynamic forms. As for others, French toys always mean something, and this something is always entirely socialized, constituted by the myths or the techniques of modern adult life. The army, broadcasting, the post office, medicine, miniature instrument cases, operating theaters for dolls. He's talking of the toys which are a replica or which belong to the adult world. He says these are the toys that are available to the child that parents give them to use. Hair styling, dryers for permanent waving, the Air Force, that is parachutists, transport, trains, Citroens, Vedettes, Vespas, petrol stations, etc. And science, Martian toys, all these Martian toys, the robots that are there, that is what he's telling. So each and every of these toys, he says, is what is a replica of the adult world, and the child is given no option to explore his mind, to use his mind. He is already conditioned that you are growing in such a society where you will, when you grow up, you'll be using all these things. The fact that French toys literally prefigure the world of adult functions obviously cannot but prepare the child to accept them all by constituting for him, even before he can think about it, the alibi of a nature. Alibi hota hai piece of evidence, piece of proof of a nature which has at all times created soldiers, postmen and Vespas. Vespas scooters, है ना, scooters bikes होती है ना बच्चों को खेलने वाली, वो चाबी भर के it is moving here and there. So the child is being taught कि आपको बड़े होके पहले आप साइकिल चला रहे हो, when you're small, then the tricycle you will start driving, which will be followed by a scooty or a scooter. Vespas, that is what he's talking about. Toys here reveal the list of all things the adult does not find unusual: war, bureaucracy, ugliness, Martians, etc. It is not so much, in fact, the imitation which is the sign of an abdication. Abdication is to disown something, as its literalness. French toys are like a Jivaro head. Now, Jivaro is an African tribe, right? उनके जो crowns हैं उसको use किया है Barthes ने to explain his point, in which one recognizes, shrunken to the size of an apple, an apple होना चाहिए, the wrinkles and hair of an adult. So, what are these? French toys, they are like Jivaro heads. There exist, for instance, dolls which urinate. They have an esophagus. One gives them a bottle. They wet their nappies. Soon, no doubt, milk will turn to water in their stomach. So everything, everything which belongs to the adult world is being given to the child to play and use it as a toy. This is meant to prepare the little girl for the cause and effect relationship, causality of housekeeping, to condition her, that is to prepare her for her future role as what? As mother. I hope point is clear to you. However, faced with this world of faithful and complicated objects, the child can only identify himself as owner, as user, never as creator. तो ये point please आपने ज़रूर ध्यान रखना है जो Barthes is trying to tell you, that child is deprived of being the creator, right? He does not invent the world, he uses it. There are prepared for him actions with adventure, actions without adventure, without wonder, without joy. He is turned into a little stay-at-home householder who does not even have to invent the mainsprings of adult causality. Casuality नहीं है, इसको ध्यान से पढ़ लेना प्लीज, है ना. Causality, cause and effect relationship. दे आर सप्लाइड टू हिम रेडीमेड. उसको तैयार कर दिया जाता है पहले से ही, दैट दिस इज द सोसाइटी इन विच यू विल ग्रो, बाय गिविंग हिम a miniature of a soldier or a Martian, or giving the girl child a doll which do everything that a baby does. The child is never allowed to discover anything from start to finish. The merest set of blocks, provided it is not too refined, implies a very different learning of the world. Then the child does not in any way create meaningful objects. It matters little to him whether they have an adult name. The actions he performs are not those of a user, but those of a demiurge. Now, demiurge being responsible for creation of the universe, but they are not even responsible for creating their own imagination, because we culminate their creation, we culminate their imagination at the very outset of their growing time or in their growing age. He creates forms which walk, which roll. He creates life, not property. Objects now act by themselves. They are no longer an inert and complicated material in the palm of his hand, but such toys are rather rare. So building blocks are something which really encourage stimulation of the mind of a child, but then they are rare, he says. And sorry, complicated material, okay, but such toys are rather rare. French toys are usually based on imitation. Imitation क्या होता है? Copy, replica, imitation. They are meant to produce children who are users and not creators. Okay, remember this point, very very significant, that what Barthes is trying to tell us, that the French toys that are available or that are given to a child are stopping him for being a creator. He is merely a user of those toys. The bourgeois, bourgeois लिखा है, but bourgeois पढ़ते हैं हम इसको, that is the middle class. Status of toys can be recognized not only in their forms, which are all functional, but also in their substances, the material with which it is made. Current toys are made with graceless material. And what is this graceless material present on earth? That is plastic. You must have seen the meme that is very popular these days, that man filled the world, whole universe with plastic, and now man is wrapped in plastic. इसको एक ironic situation बताया जा रहा है in the times of the pandemic, in the times of COVID-19. You know, the world now, God has kind of, they are saying that we spoiled, we contaminated our earth, our environment, and now that plastic is all on us. Okay, so graceless material, the product of chemistry, not of nature. Many are now molded from complicated mixtures. The plastic material of which they are made has an appearance at once gross and unhygienic. It destroys all the pleasure, the sweetness, the humanity of touch. A sign which fills one with consternation is the gradual disappearance of wood, in spite of its being an ideal material because of its firmness and its softness and the natural warmth of its touch. So what is Roland Barthes trying to tell you here? That we are giving children toys which are made of plastic, which is gross and which is unhygienic above all, right? And we have forgotten the best material that should be used for toys. हम अपने ancestors की बात करें तो there was a time when I used to visit my Nana Nani's place in Delhi. So I was given लकड़ी का घोड़ा, you know, and a लकड़ी का हाथी. और अब क्या है, वो चाबी भरने वाला हाथी है, चाबी भरने वाला घोड़ा है, right? So many things. And electrical appliances, electrical toys too. You just put on the cells or you just plug in and it will start working. So that is the change that has come over. Wood has now been replaced by the gross material, he says. And if I tell you at the present scenario, now the price of wooden toys is very very high as compared to these plastic toys. और ये एक और reason हो जाता है कि wooden toys are avoided these days. I bought for my child a wooden, it was a block of course, and that block can be made into a train, right? And then the similar thing you can find in plastic also. The similar thing is there as an electronic toy, as a musical toy, but then the creativity and the ability of the development of the mind, which I can see when he is using those wooden blocks, I agree to what Barthes is saying here, right? So wood removes from all the forms which it supports. The wounding quality of angles, किनारियाँ नहीं होती उसमें जो चुभती हैं बच्चों को, that is what he's saying, borders which are too sharp. The chemical coldness of metal is also not there. It is a very nice material, wood, you know. When the child handles it and knocks it, it neither vibrates nor grates. It has a sound once muffled and sharp. Muffled is just covered. जब आप किसी चीज़ को covered कर देते हो ना, उसकी sound जो है वो थोड़ी कम हो जाती है. Muffled drum को वैसे बजाओगे बहुत आवाज़ होएगी. If I bang this, it will make a louder noise. But when I cover it with a cloth, it will make a less shrieky noise. That is muffled. It is a familiar and poetic substance which does not sever the child from close contact with tree, the table and the floor. Wood does not wound or break down. It does not shatter. It wears out. With the passage of time, wood खत्म होता है, लेकिन टूटता नहीं है. With the earth, it doesn't. What he says, it doesn't shatter. It can last a longer time. Live with the child. Alter little by little the relations between the object and the hand. If it dies, it is in dwindlingly, not in swelling out like those mechanical toys which disappear behind the hernia. Now what is this hernia? The bulging organ that is inside our stomach. Usko bol raha hai. And what it is, when these plastic toys break, you know, they जो इनके अंदर का सामान होता है, it hangs out and they are of no use once the child has broken them. Hernia of broken spring. Wood makes essential objects of all time. Yet there hardly remain any of these wooden toys from Vosges. These fretworks, these wooden works, farms with their animals, which were Vosges यहाँ पे लैंडस्केप है फ्रांस में, उसके लिए यूज़ किया जा रहा है. ओके, rugged landscapes, which were only possible, it is true. मैं ये लाइन दोबारा से पढ़ती हूँ, डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो गया बीच में. Yet there hardly remain any of these wooden toys from Vosges, right? These fretwork farms with their animals, which are only possible, it is true, in the days of the craftsmen. So basically what he's trying to tell you in this line, he simply means that these wooden toys have become extinct now. The craftsmanship is not there. The wooden toys are no more available there. The toys which are made of plastic have overtaken the place of wooden toys. Henceforth, toys are chemical in substance and color. Their very material introduces one to so uh, koinathesis is feeling of being alive, the feeling that you are alive but actually you are not, right? So their very material introduce one to a koinathesis of use, not pleasure, not satisfaction, not happiness. These toys die, in fact, very quickly, and once dead, they have no posthumous life for the child. Posthumous, after it is dead, the toy, it has no life for the child. Posthumous is life after death. The child will definitely throw the broken toy into the dustbin. Okay, that is what it means. Now, what do we learn? 3-4 points which are very, very significant. First of all, Roland Barthes is saying that the toys which we give to the children are a replica of the adult world. In this way, we are snatching from the child what? What are we snatching? We are snatching from him the capability of being a creator. हमने क्या बना दिया child को? He is merely a user, not a creator. And when the child is using these toys which belong to the adult world, which are kind of replica of what the adults use, what we are doing, we are denying the child a chance to think independently. We are denying him his imagination. We are denying him his creativity. We are denying him that ability to discover, to know things at their own end. उनको पहले ही हम सिखा रहे हैं कि society में all these things are gonna exist and you too will be part of it. Okay, these are the main things as far as toys are concerned. Second aspect, he says, as far as the material is concerned, the gross material of plastic is used, which should not be used, and instead of the gross material plastic, wooden toys must be used, must be given to the children, as they are user friendly and they have a kind of an emotional value too for the child. Second point, right? And last and the most important thing, the only toys that Roland Barthes approve are what? Building blocks, he says. Building blocks are one thing which help the child to be a creator of any kind of image that he wants. Not just image, but he will definitely make something or the other from those building blocks. Either he'll make a building out of it, or he'll make a small setting out of it. He might, depends what kind of building blocks are. So there is huge category of building block toys that are available for children, and Barthes is approving them because he says that they give the child a chance to use their mind. They help the child in their in encouraging the child to use his mind, encouraging the child in the stimulation of his mind, right? And when he's doing this, he is into the act of being a creator. He is creating something. He is making something on his own. He is not just learning about what things are available in the adult world. Okay, these are the main highlights of the essay, and you will have to focus on this. Imagination, discovery and creation, they are three things which modern French toys are killing in the child. Okay, these are the main aspects, and this the value of the toys and their what do they do, their effects on the growth of the child is what forms the basis of the essay. right? A very simple essay, nothing complicated. Let us just give a quick reading to the analysis given in your books. 127. In his essay Toys, Barthes has criticized toys for many reasons. The most important point that he makes is that toys are copies of objects in the adult world. They do encourage the child to be creative, but mold him into a passive, unquestioning user. Passive, जब आप को कुछ दिया है, it is clear in front of you, something that is put in front of you, why will you actively think about it? You know, you are a passive user without giving any logic, any thought to it. In the last paragraph, Barthes dwells on the superiority of wood as a material to make toys rather than plastic or metal. He also displays his approval of mechanical and mass-produced toys. Disapproval. He says children should not be allowed to use such kind of toys. Okay, so a very apt title and a very interesting idea that lies behind the essay. Okay, read the essay, go through it, and in case of any queries you may ask. I don't see any scope of query over here as such, but still, if any point, any doubt comes to your mind, you're free to ask. Thank you so much.